Hello everyone and welcome to the UBPros Q&A. Today is the December 9th. We are getting close to Christmas and we have our two special person here. First, we have our lovely German guy
Hello.
and a lovely Austrian guy.
Hello, everyone.
And then we have me, which is Norwegian. Everyone should know by now.
The lovely reindeer guy.
The reindeer. Yeah, it's really snowy here. I hate snow. Okay. Should we get right into the updates then? Should we start with the push updates? You want to take that, Florian?
Yeah, sure. So, as everybody knows, probably that by the end of the year, Canonical will turn off the push server. At least this is what we got communicated. So we were in intense discussions over the last weeks how we can move to an intermediate or temporary push service that looks the same like the Canonical service. This went quite well, we think. We also got into touch with Telegram to make a smooth transition. So it was decided actually that with the OTF3 release, we will also switch to our push server. What does it mean is that from the moment when we tell, for example, to Telegram, you have to use our new push server, nobody will receive any notifications until he will update to the OTF3. So it's just as a pre-announcement for everyone, the notifications will break for a short time for you. Either if you install OTF3 before, you will lose them for some time until the Telegram server has switched, or the other way around, of course, you will also have a small amount of dead time. We will try to switch together. Let's say we will try to synchronize together with Telegram guys that we keep this period as small as possible. But of course, can be that they need some more time or something goes wrong. You never know. So allow at least the 21st and the 22nd of December, which we talk later about for this special date. Allow some 1 or 2 days to pass before getting nervous, because yeah, we cannot do it in a really snap switch. We need some time to move everything and to verify again. And then also something might happen, which we need to be prepared. We don't know the load of this push server yet. So basically, the Canonical guys told us they have not so many messages per second going through the service. But since we do not have the same hardware, we do not have exactly the same software that they used, it can be that our small, tiny push server gets completely overloaded. And in this case, we would have to do something like trying to ramp up the memory or increase the CPU that's available for this server, or in the worst case, also start patching on the software. Yeah. So push notifications might get a little bit shaky on these days. I still cross my fingers that everything will work out fine. But I'm also super excited because this is more or less cooperation between us, Canonical, and Telegram, which went on a really informal level. But very productive. No politics, no question, just working towards the goal that we can save these notifications for us. So I don't know if someone is listening from there, guys, but want to make a special thanks to the Canonical Store team that was very helping in this matter, and also the Telegram guys that made no fuss and no complicated requirements for us. Just said, okay, we can make this on an informal email way, and communication was very fine. So I hope everyone can be, let's say, also a little bit excited if this will go good, if this will go well or not. But don't get afraid too much. It might be a little bit bumpy. Anything else I want to say? Basically, it will be, this is also important. It will be on Devil a little bit earlier, because we will push the update package into the Devil image. So for all of you guys that are using Devil and then also RC, it will break already some days before, because we need to test our release. That means we need to push it into our Devil image, and that means also it will modify the push URL there, the target of the push service. And so if you're using Devil or RC builds, don't get nervous. The notifications might break maybe, I don't know, 4 or 5 days before. Yeah, I think this is everything from the push server. yeah, I hope maybe with this move that we can actually repair some of you guys that are having issues with push now. Because Canonical was using more than one server. They had a small cluster, and it seems that the cluster was not working well. So for everyone who is missing notifications on a certain device or after a certain OTA, it might repair now this function, because there is only one push server and there is only one target it can connect to. Yeah. Okay, that's
And
it for the moment.
also one thing to add is that now we actually have an open source based push server, which makes it easier for us to actually both debug and fix issues with the server. And also it's a better security for you guys to actually have an open source based. Even though it's hosted on our servers, everything that's on our servers is open source.
Yeah, I mean, we have planned to modify the push service anyway, but with this step that we just move now over to our Canonical compatible server, gives us more time to think about the concepts and to implement everything in a nice way. The end of year deadline was just too close for us that we can develop a complete new solution that will replace the old one. So of course it has still a little bit the drawbacks of the old solution. That is that some parts are not encrypted as we want to have it. And if we would move, let's say, to something that has also a small cluster with more than one server, we would have to modify it in certain ways. So we're thinking, okay, let's start from a fresh concept, like Marius told already last 1 or 2 Q&As, I think it was. We have a brainstorming about this, and we will certainly not leave it like it is, like this. Yeah. But we hope at least it's a transitional thing that keeps us flying and online with the notifications for some time. Last thing also, if anybody knows any application that uses push notification server except Telegram, please tell us, because so far we didn't come up with more than Telegram using this in an official way. I don't know, but maybe there are notifications from other applications. If you know something, please let us know, because also these guys need then to change the URL configuration on their side. Yeah.
Yeah, and probably we can open it up more in the future so applications can actually use it, because that's now that we looked into taking it over, we also stumbled upon some of its functionalities which we didn't know before, and that was definitely an interesting thing. This is not yet the happy fun time solution that Marius was so excited about and suggested a couple of weeks back. It's pretty much what Canonical had, right? So it's not distributed, decentralized, and you can host it yourself. This is just what Canonical had, basically. Yeah, there's still room for improvement. But for now, good news is notifications are not going away. And good job on pulling that off, Florian, and everyone who was involved in this.
Well, thanks. It was actually a small shout out to Dan Chapman, because Dan was very helpful with the Golang code, because I'm completely noob with Go. And together with him, we managed to get it up and running last weekend and test this a little bit. So, yeah. Thanks again, Mr. Deco Dan Chapman, for that. And yeah, it's always interesting that people can get excited about a certain topic and then really get motivated and work hard, that in a short time we can achieve something. Yeah. Now, let's see. It's not over yet. I'm still a little bit under tension for this, but after it works, it will be fine, I think.
Yeah, if it only breaks on Devil, it's no problem. I mean, if you're running Devil, you know that it's going to break from time to time, and it doesn't break that often. So this is one of the times that will break.
Often, yet. but that's also a question actually for later. It's explaining more what the channel is. But I think we can take the news first, and I think since we are so on topic, and since Florian talked about the date, let's talk about OTA 3 final date, Jan.
Yeah, we finally have set a date a release date for OTA 3, which is December 21st. we still don't have a release candidate for the Fairphone 2 camera module, which is our last big problem we want to tackle with this update. But yeah, we talked about it in the past. There have been some new problems that surfaced, but we are positive that we will be able to resolve it, and that we will be able to make this deadline.
There was a major setback. I think it was this or last week, and Canonical removed Vivid from the archives. So that was a big panic move. But now we have found out that they are still on the old releases, and I hopefully those are up to date with what was on Ubuntu.com. It's not the archive since it's ARM. Yeah, but it's they've removed it from the archives. Explaining the archives again is where the software, it's where your package manager apt-get gets your packages from. So when that was removed, so that will happen now. If you try to use apt-get on your phone right now, it will fail because the server is gone, basically. Canonical. Well, the server is gone. The folder for Vivid is gone, and this was also a major setback for us because we need to update all our system image, system image, rootfs, build servers, and everything that we have been building up after the PPA died, and now this even died. So it's a bit big reason to move to Xenial.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, moving to Xenial, moving to something that's actually still supported by Canonical will help us a lot. Will take a lot of load off our backs. Of course, we can't be angry at Canonical for removing something that they say is no longer supported from their service, because we were seeing that coming, but we were still surprised that it already happened because they left it open for so long now, and we were not able to move along faster with Xenial. But after OTA 3, we will really give it another big push, and we hope that OTA 3 will be the last update on Vivid, right? So that will be interesting.
Yeah, Leon's casual to say that OTA 3 is the last Vivid release. Right now, actually, Xenial, for you guys that actually trying it, isn't in that bad of a state, and it can be picked up. When OTA 3 is out, we can move all our forces into one Xenial target, and that way we have a lot of more power. And now that we also have finished with our infrastructure and all these setbacks that have been coming, which was expected, but I don't think we ever I think we expected this to happen the end of the year, but it happened before the end of the year, which means that we had a lot of work to do that. And it's not just changing the URL, but there is so much to change URL to. So yeah.
Remember though, if Marius says it's not in that bad of a state, it doesn't mean you have to switch and try to run it as a daily driver. It just means that you can if you want to get into development and help us with it. Basically, there is something there what you can work with. If you start it up, issues will be visible to you. So don't run it as a daily driver. Definitely don't. But it's something you can work with. And after OTA 3, we will have some fun with it.
If you have a second phone, for example, I think Xenial is great to follow the progress that will happen after OTA 3. Hopefully it will go smooth and fast. That's what I'm dreaming of. But yeah, we are getting more and more well structured in one way, and now that we have, as I said, infrastructure and everything, we can focus on the things that actually needs attention, like software development and all this. And we know that Xenial won't be supported to 2021 to 22 21 21. Okay.
Yeah.
So
it gives us
we have
time to then think about what we want to do next. So if we want to switch to 1804 as the next one, or to 2004, which is still a long time to go to, but it doesn't mean we will stay on Xenial forever, of course.
I think it's a big luck for us, and also some kind of, let's say, gift by a coincidence or so, that Canonical released a long-term supported release last year, and now dropped the phone. Imagine if it would be like there is I don't know, current LTS would end, new one would come up in the middle, or maybe only a few months to go. So we have to switch from 1504 to 1604, and then 2 months later to 1704, something like this. That doesn't make sense. Yeah. So basically, I think it's in a good way as it is now, because it will take the pressure from us. And as you said, what we do after 1604, let's see. But as long as we have the support, the official support, we can get all the updates from upstream. We can get all the security updates from them. It saves us major pain in the ass for having to deal with all these packages that are in the image. And if the people are asking why we don't move immediately to the next OTA, to the next LTS, it's just because 1604 was so much prepared already for the phone. We have to take it as it is and just make it more perfect, or make it working as we want. Then the release after that will have a lot of things much more broken. So I think we cannot jump over 1604. It's really impossible for us.
Also, 1604 is there now, and 1804 is still in development, and is still a moving target, pretty much.
Yeah.
So,
but one of our biggest blocker is Upstart, which I don't think Upstart is in the next LTS. I think Xenial was the last one with. Correct me if I'm wrong there, but I think that Upstart is now end of support. Well, it is supported in Xenial, but
it's no longer in the next LTS and in the point releases. So that's also an argument. Yeah, in Xenial, Xenial is more aligned with what's running on the phone at the moment. So it is the logical step for us.
Yeah, as I said. Probably said it too many times and you're probably tired of hearing it, but not jump up the stairs, we'll walk off the stairs.
And of course, we don't want to talk about the Unity thing again. Everybody knows that Unity will also be not easily available from Canonical anymore. So we have a lot of time now to get everything straightened. And so let's have us a little bit more time to get everything straight, and then we will make you unfortunately not a Christmas present, but maybe a spring present with 1604. Let's see how we can start this spring of 2017.
Yeah, and also on the System D and Upstart thing, I think what we also can do there is it's also ask people for help, and people can try out different System D. For example, right now when we move to Xenial, you can actually try System D now, even though it does require the kernel changes and all of that. For Nexus 5, there is kernel changes that is available up now on GitHub that you can build yourself and try System D. And also you can help out with getting System D aligned. And once we actually get to that point, we will start getting images out with that. But that's also a far away from now. But if someone wants to help that, please join our mailing list. We now have a mailing list, which is list.ubiports.com, where we can join and discuss and have more deep discussions than what we have on Telegram, because Telegram is after 1 day or even 1 hour, your message is gone because it's so fast moving target. So if anyone that's developers or anyone that's interesting, please join our mailing list. It's the normal main Linux mail list style, where it's not the marketing mailing list we're talking about. We're talking about the developer and design and all these kind of mailing lists that we have. Again, that's list.ubiports.com. We will link it down below.
Singular, it's LIST, not lists, just to make it clear. LIST, it's singular form.
Yeah.
Maybe
I will change that.
Yeah, maybe we will change it. Yeah, because it's a little bit more logical to have lists, because there will be multiple mailing lists, not only one.
Yeah.
But currently
there was one.
Yes.
There was one, and then it became more than one.
So if you already want to come now, it's a list only with T at the end, and then maybe lists will come up.
Yeah, it's just a form of communication that's a little more on topic, not so. It's not synchronous communication like Telegram, but it's archived, so you can really get into a topic and write a long, elaborate reply. So that's why we also want to want to use mailing lists more in the future. It's what many open source projects do. We try to get around it for a while, but it is a logical step to also use it.
Yeah, I think one of the main reasons why that wasn't used before, because we, as I said many times, we were a porting community, and that was more logical to have live chat because thing is happening so fast with the porting. And when you do porting, you want help now. You don't want to wait to tomorrow to get the answer. But now that we have so much else and so much, I think mailing list is a lot better in that way that you, for example, as Jan said, you can go back in time and actually see, that's how he did it, or that's how he said we want to do it, something like that. And also you can make deeper discussions because you can write, God knows how much you can actually write an email. I think it's limited in some way.
Yeah.
Okay. Next thing. Yeah. We had a team, unfortunately not be able to go this time, but the other team members in the
Oh, I got a frozen
foundation.
Can you jump back 2 sentences? You were a little bit frozen at the moment.
Me?
Yeah.
Yes, you.
Oh, I will unfreeze. Where were I? Okay, so yeah, we had a meeting in Netherlands with the board members to more finalize and get more structure in place. We had a lot of good discussions and also about the foundation and how we deep meeting about all this stuff. And I think that went really well. I think we now have a more deep understanding of and also understanding of where we are going. Side to the OS, so it was really good. I think. What you say, Jan?
Yeah, you still broke up a little there in the middle, but I think the general point got along. So yeah, what we've been working on is also defining some processes that we want to have in place for the foundation. Of course, we don't want the board to backseat drive everything. So that's what some people, I think, in the community are afraid of, that the board is just going to dictate everything that's going to happen. No, it's going to be a meritocratic. I hate words sometimes.
Meritocratic. Okay.
This is an impossible word. So basically, if you want to do something, you can do it, and the board won't keep you from doing it. And everybody can still contribute and can get decisions accepted by the general community. And the board and the foundation is just is just there to have a legal body, essentially, to make business for the community. So if we want to sign a contract, for example, we need to have a legal persona to do that, and that's going to be the foundation.
I mean, we're trying to coordinate things, but we're open to suggestions, and we are also crying for help in that case, of course. For example, I would say, okay, if there is something like we need now the push service developed in a good way, and somebody wants to do it, just approach us. But we will also try to call for some help. For example, I will talk later a little bit about another new app idea that I have. If there are any good ideas, it would be nice if anybody wants to do it, just presents this to us and to the community. But keep in mind that just writing on Telegram, I want to do it, doesn't help much. You need to make it a little bit more structured. So what we like to see is something like a longer email describing it on the mailing list, for example, or you make a blog post on your own blog and you post us the link and we can read about it. At least the idea should have some flash. The bones are quite clear. I want to make a WhatsApp clone. Okay, nice, but this is a little bit not enough for us to say, yeah, that's a good idea. We want to promote it. Because there will be questions around, let's say, about when you want to implement it, how you want to implement it, which technologies you want to use, which help you could need, and so on. We need all the information you want. You can give us about the idea, be it a new app, be it something that's in the operating system, be it something that is on the infrastructure, but be a little bit more specific. It helps everybody in the first place when it's really specific as possible, because we don't have to have a lot of talk and a lot of discussion about it, and it will get you started faster. That's just what I'm asking for. We had a lot of ideas that got maybe consumed by the Telegram history already, and we don't find them anymore. Try to make it more persistent by using also a more persistent media. So I will also say that our Telegram group is still behaving in a very nice way. There are over 1,000 people. There are not really a lot of spam or flame wars going on, but you can already feel that on some days it's really hard to follow, and it's not the media that will make the ideas really presentable to the community. Let's say it like this. Not everybody can read every day all the postings on the Telegram group. So make a nice, is this called in English also, expose, some small presentation of the idea. At least on a mailing list, it can be captured in a better way. Yeah, that's what we're asking for. And we will also try to do it in the same way. Of course, we should go by example. That means if in our team we have a new good idea or we call for some assistance, we will try to make it in the same way and not just shout it out into the room. Yeah.
Okay. Then we have our last news for today, and then we will move on to the Flo.
Yes,
various collaborations.
Yes, that's also very exciting for me that somehow, even if I didn't plan, I was coming into a position to talk a lot with people from other organizations or from companies about this and that, how we could cooperate. The first thing was that also in the Telegram group appeared a guy that is actually working on a fork of the indicators. So the indicators that are used now are just a normal part of our operating system or of Ubuntu Touch. But there seems to be also high interest to use the indicators on other platforms. Like, for example, this guy is talking for a bunch of people who tries to fork the indicators for Debian and for Ubuntu Mate. So they offered us that we can talk about the cooperation or let's say some informational exchange of information. This was a clever sentence. Informational exchange of information. I'm sorry for that. They call it Ayadana indicators. I don't know if Ayadana is the right pronunciation, but this will be a complete fork of the indicator package as it is now. So we will talk next week with them. Maybe we can offload a certain amount of maintenance and development of the indicators to them, because they are anyway maintaining them for their use. So that's quite great, because indicators, we didn't work so much on them now. A lot of people still have questions or requests regarding indicators, how to brush up on them a little bit, how to get them a little bit modified or tweaked. And if we have a steady maintenance crew for the indicators, that would be great. So not much information now, but next Tuesday or Wednesday, I think it was, we are talking with them about the potential cooperation with the Debian guys about indicators. The second thing that is now again heating up a little bit is talking with BQ. So we will now have an appointment with the BQ guys. There's nothing special planned. We just try to present what is Ubuntu Touch for us, what is UBports, how we think that we are going to work over the next months and years and so on. But still, it's exciting that we got an appointment with BQ, because this is a hardware partner. They were already cooperating with Canonical for the phones that you could buy, and the idea that we would have is that we get some basic support for porting BQ devices for Ubuntu Touch, for the actual devices that you can buy in the market. We will see. Nothing is said. I mean, this is a professional company. It's not easy to talk with them, maybe. Well, let's see what comes out. Yeah? Just because there were a lot of people asking about if we're going to talk with them and when and so on. So, yeah, now is the day. That's regarding these two things. Yeah, small update. I think, did I forget anything?
Okay.
No, at the moment not.
No, okay. So then move on to the okay. Let's start from the bottom here. Well, not really bottom, but I've asked question mark, maybe question mark.
I think it's snowing in Norway, so Marius's internet is breaking up.
The snow. I blame it 100% on the snow. Let me try again. Ivan is asking UBports teachers question mark. Then I say maybe question mark. Yeah.
Maybe Jan, no, just a second. Maybe Jan can just say 2 more sentences about why we cannot just sell T-shirts now. And yeah, it's again a foundation thing, right?
We set it as our next Patreon goal, which we now surpassed a lot faster than we anticipated we would. So we have to come up with a way to do it now. But forgive us if it's not coming that quickly. We will try to do it in this month still, but we can't promise anything definitive yet. But we will try to get it done soon. But yeah, doing business is so selling merchandise is not that easy. Well, since we don't have a legal entity yet at the moment, it's all going through us privately, and then we have to keep track of the money and so on. So, but it's okay if we do it through Patreon. We will come up with a solution, and hopefully this month. If we don't get it done this month, then it will come next month. And please don't be mad at us. We will come up with something.
I'm so sorry. So we are double Evan. Something your name correct. I will from now call you double Ean Van. Okay, never mind. Next question.
What's so hard to pronounce Ivan?
It's not hard. It's just principle. It's just me doing it for fun. No, I'm kidding. Next question. This is a thing that I heard often is what's the difference between the channels? Please explain in an easy way. Want to explain this, Jan?
Can you repeat the question?
What's the difference between the channels? Please explain in an easy way.
Okay, I think you're talking about the release channels, right?
He's talking about the channels for RC, Devil, and Stable.
Okay, yeah. So basically, as Florian said, there's 3 channels available. The one you're normally using is Stable. That is, those channels are 3 different versions of Ubuntu Touch in different stages of development. So Stable is the one where we're releasing our stable updates. So those are well tested. We know all the features we wanted to be in there, and they're working. And those are the ones when we're saying, okay, we are releasing OTA 2, we are releasing OTA 3. Those are releases on the stable channels and updates on the stable channel. Then we have RC, which is short for release candidate, which gets updates about once a week. So this is the update in the stage it would look like if we were releasing a stable release right now. So it's a little more tested than directly out of the developer's computer. So we have a little more faith in it. And then we have the next one, which is really a moving target, which is the Devil channel. That's really only meant for testing, really only, okay, did we just break everything? And then we can see, okay, are the core functionality still working? And then if everything is still working, we can move on to RC, and then as soon as we hit the release date for the next stable release, we move the RC image to stable. Yeah, that's our 3 basic channels. And then what's going to be introduced soon, I think we announced it a while ago already, but we don't have the procedure around it yet, is the community channels, which is for developers from the community who are working on new device ports, for example, so on versions of Ubuntu Touch for different devices that are not completely finished yet. So we can allow them to also use our infrastructure and release updates through our servers. But those channels will always be named community / name of the developer. And then we can say, okay, those are not official releases, those are releases from the community, but then people can already test it and the developer can work on it more efficiently, and yeah, they don't have to set up the infrastructure by themselves because it is a lot of work. Yeah, that's channels.
Okay, nice. Also, quick question. If I'm a noob, what channel should I use?
Stable.
If I want a daily driver, what channel should I use?
Stable.
If I want to break my device?
Devil.
Okay, good.
I'm good at this. I'm good at this.
Okay,
just one addition to this. If you have the new Fairphone with the new camera module and the new display, at the moment you want to use RC because the support for the new display is not stable yet. It will be in OTA 3, which, as we said, will be released on December 21st. But at the moment, if you have the new Fairphone, stay on RC. That's also kind of safe. It won't break terribly, at least not if all of us do a good job.
RC won't break. But
yeah, RC won't break, at least not terribly.
Okay, yeah, at least not terribly, guys. No, what we mean is that because changes that might break is often low-level changes, and they often go to developers where they get someone actually see that the device is booting, and when it's booting, it will move to RC. But if not, we have our ticket system now in place, which not ticket, but issue thing in place where if we have a label called critical, it won't get moved to the next target.
Yeah, so it's connected to the GitHub issue tracker. If you see an issue labeled critical there, then that means that's the reason why at the moment we don't have a new RC release.
Yeah, it's a security barrier. Okay, I got a question on the live chat. What are the top 3 issues / bugs we have to fix according to you guys? I think I can start with that. Number 1 is our number 1 issue, which is world domination. We haven't reached that yet. That's a major issue. Second one, I think, to be 100% honest, I think one of the thing that really need to be fixed is move to a supported target. I think that's my number one. Move to Xenial, which is a big thing because then we are still security updates and all this from Canonical. And that is my number one. Number two is World Domination. Number three is I'm missing my Snapchat. That's my number three. But after that, I live. Jan, what's your number three?
What's annoying to me at the moment is that we kind of are creating a separate ecosystem from the rest of GNU Linux. So what I really want to see is that we get convergence, what we actually promise, so that we are more compatible with standard Linux applications. Of course, we can't do it from one day to another, and it's going to be a long way to the point where it's just going to work, but we want to get there, or at least I want to get there, and it's going to be awesome. I think we're on the right path. But yeah, that's definitely a thing that's bugging me. And I can, of course, agree to your 3 points.
I saw one that pops out on the live chat now is the browser. And yes, I have to agree with that one. Also, the browser we have now is funkily slow. But I hope that when we move, hopefully when we move to, if we do, which we probably will, is move to Qt Web Engine instead of maintaining our own Oxide, which is gonna be a pain when we actually have something that works better. What's your 3 points, Florian?
Oh, now I turned off my camera. Sorry.
Oh.
Okay, 3 points is a very spontaneous question. So maybe not 3 points, but I'll think about 1 or 2. One would be that we finally make some memory optimization and find also the potential or maybe not existing but suspicious memory flaws or leaks that sometimes cause the things to reboot or to evacuate an app from the memory when it's not necessary. I mean, basically, we know that most of devices should have 2 gigs of RAM, but still, I'm testing now all the devices for daily driving since a few weeks or months, and I can see there is one common thing that after some time you have a significantly higher chance of losing an app out of memory, or even losing Unity, which should never get killed, but it is killed. So it's quite annoying for a daily driver. For example, on the airport last time, I was having my boarding card on the phone with the barcode, and I was queuing up for boarding. I was thinking, please don't reboot now. Please don't reboot now, because behind me are 200 people who want to board the plane. And if I'm stuck in this barrier and I have to get again a ticket printed out by the stewardess there or by the ground handling crew, or I have to quickly enter my PIN and get back to the web, it's not working like this. If I cannot trust my device that when it was on 5 minutes before and I turn it on again, it still has the same state and instead will reboot, this is really not really handy. So I hope we can increase the stability and the memory management, and also reduce the memory footprint of Unity and the other system tools so that we can have more memory for apps. Because currently up to 800 megabyte of operating system usage is really much. And Android is doing a much better job here. We also have to compare a little bit what are the others doing. And of course, they have some light years of advantage, but we should keep the goals set high. And yeah, so memory is my number one of my 3. The other ones you probably touched already. I cannot really know for the moment. I think it's fine like that. Let's not set too many high-level goals, because otherwise we will have a hard time to track them.
Yeah, stability is definitely way up on my list as well. It's of course also not a target where you can just say, okay, we reached this now, let's make a check there and move on. But if you're using Ubuntu Touch on a daily basis, I guess it happens to everyone from time to time that your phone will just reboot. That's what you get used to. It doesn't happen that often for me, but every other day I think my phone crashes, and that's something that if we want to go for a more non-technical audience, I think we have to solve.
I think from my experience, I'm using the OnePlus as my daily driver, and to be honest, I can't really say this is a problem for me. Like maybe once a week it reboots, but that's it. And I haven't 5 as my daily driver. I didn't really have this problem either. It might be that I'm more tolerable to these issues since I'm a developer, and that's why I understand why it happens. But I think this also is because the Nexus, no, the OnePlus has such a good amount of memory, which means that it can last a bit longer if there is a memory leak somewhere. But this also, again, goes back to the things saying when we actually move to Xenial, these memory leaks that might be in the base Ubuntu minimal Ubuntu core, as they call it. If there is a memory leak there, they would get fixed pretty quick because it's supported by Canonical. But yeah, me
for the
rambling back
record,
about
for the record, you don't fix a memory leak by just adding more memory. That's that's not how it works.
It's a temporarily fix, okay? Just add more swap every day. More swap.
Unfortunately, some people really keeping servers alive like this, and we had this in the 90s when for Windows, the old Windows version NT was quite buggy with that. So you couldn't keep the NT server running more than 30 days or so without blue screen. Because they had a lot of leaks inside. So people were setting up reboot jobs. So every 30 days, automatically you would have one reboot. Basically for the phone, you could do the same, but it's really still annoying. Yeah. So if it's a user end device, you cannot do things like that. On the server, you can put this also maybe on the weekend for rebooting, but that's not how clean development works. Yeah. Clean development.
Both the server and the phone you want to have just there when you need it. You want to be able to get your phone out and look at it, and it's supposed to work. You can't have it.
No sleeping times, no lost information. That's really, I mean, already the current thing that when the app gets closed by the memory management and then you start it again, it's virtually starting from zero. It's sometimes a little bit annoying. It's better for the web browser now when you enable that it keeps the last tabs open. That's already quite helpful, but sometimes it's really no. But anyway, this is all going to happen after 16.04 because we want to see the improvement, if there is any. We want to see also improvement from potential Qt upgrade in this area. And if we have everything in place, then we can start working on this again. There is no sense now to work on memory leaks.
Yeah, I would say definitely the next step. The reason why we're doing OTA 3 before it is because we still have some fixes included in OTA 3. Like, for example, I don't know if you've seen it. If you're running RC, you will have seen it. If you hold the keyboard down, now you can, the whole on-screen keyboard turns into a trackpad, and you can move your finger around and use it to move the text cursor. So that, for example, is a fix that was already developed before Canonical discontinued Ubuntu Touch, and it's a fix that we are only able to release now because it took us so long to actually look through all the list of patches that were available. So this is a reason why we still want to do OTA 3 before the move to Xenial, but after that, at least from our perception, Xenial is the logical right next step.
Okay, since we only have 10 minutes left, and actually do have
need to speed up.
quite a lot of questions. Yeah. Okay. Let me start with two that I can do pretty quickly. How can I run X11 apps or normal desktop apps easily? Right now, it's not really an easy way of it because it's a bit funky how that works. But in theory, you can use something called Xmir, which runs an X server, which is X11 server on top of Mir, that you can actually run your X11 application on top of that. That is possible. We have documentation out there about, it's called Libertrin, with the one that sets it up. But you can also do it without Libertrin if you want to. But that requires maybe breaking your device, since you actually modified the read-only file system. Now I'm talking too long. So yes, that's possible, but it's not an user-friendly part yet. That's something we also want to work on. And same goes for Wayland. Right now, you can't run Wayland application. This is something we want to do in Xenial, where we have a newer version of Mir, which is also another question I got here. Mir 0.28. I want it now. Wait, what is it again? That's a question I got. So Mir 0.28 is just a newer version of Mir, which is a lot more up to date, and also have a big thing called Wayland support, which means that you can actually run your Wayland application, normal desktop application that supports Wayland. Like, for example, if Firefox gets Wayland support, you can just run Firefox on Mir without any Xmir or anything, and it should work perfectly. And you want it now, you can actually try it now in Xenial, but I won't recommend it. But there is an option to actually do it now, but you only can run the demos. There is no Unity 8 working. Yes. Now I got those three out of the way, and we can start going back to some of the live chat questions. Question: is an option to make the move to 1604 without Halium? Okay, so I think you misunderstood what Halium is. Halium is the one that makes the Android drivers and the graphic drivers and all these drivers that runs on an Android device able to run on a normal Linux environment, and that's why we need Halium. If not, we had to make this our own and essentially redo what we will do in Halium. Halium is just a cooperation between KDE and Ubuntu Touch mainly, and some others to unify this layer to not do extra work for each other. So when, for example, Plasma get one device ported, we can automatically get that device working on our device, and vice versa. And that's why Halium is so amazing, and that's why we wanted to have that on Xenial. Someone want to add? Because I talked too much.
I think you explained it.
Okay. Question: how far along is the OnePlus 5 development? Is still being worked on the Halium side? Yes. It's crawling slowly. That's also because so much have been happening. Because I'm the one that developer that, and that there's so much happening on the Ubuntu Touch side. I've been doing that on my free time, but I also been doing UbiPorts on my free time. So it has just consumed so much of my time. Jan knows I have a lot of my hand. Jan has been he's been having a gun behind me all time this week. It's hectic. There's a lot of things to do, and also I've been working on something on my free time, which is a big surprise for Xenial for later, which is a big thing, which I have been doing in my free time. Mostly OTA stuff in my mostly not OTA stuff, but mostly Jenkins things in UbiPorts for this week, since they, as I said before, they removed the Vivid. Now I'm rambling. Question: where is Dalton? He's away.
Yeah, he couldn't join this time. He sends his greetings. Though.
Okay, yeah. He sent his greetings. What?
No, just raising my hand because there is one more that you guys could talk about. This is what happened with Patreon, and Dalton is not here. I just marked him for this question. But maybe we just briefly mention that what changed on Patreon with the fees and this stuff, and the labor pay. Yeah.
So Patreon upped their fees a little and changed some of their a lot, and changed some of their the ways fees are handled. So now they They don't get taken from the money the creator gets, but get directly taken from the Patreons, so the people who donate. Yeah, if you don't want that anymore, if you think Patreon is taking too big of a share of your donation, then you could move to LibrePay. What's the URL? It's also just librepay.com or .org/ubports. I'm not sure. Marius, do you know that?
You dropped out for a second there.
Do you know the LibrePay URL?
It's just LibrePay/ubiports.
Okay. Yeah, if you if you think the Patreon fees are too high.
I dropped out for a second there. I didn't get your question. You said my LibrePay URL.
Yeah, that's what I asked for. Never mind. If you want to support us on LibrePay and no longer on Patreons, just search for it. You will find us, Ubiports.
Okay. Yeah, blame my ISP.
Yeah.
Okay, we have 3 minutes. English is hard. We had 3 minutes left, and then we can do a bit of a hard one. How to attract more developers. Ooh, this one is I think one of the hardest thing is that.
Just let me elaborate. You have to look on the detailed text of the question also, because there is an answer already inside, or a proposal what we should do. And this guy was thinking about it. We can increase the number of the donors and the donations, and if with the additional resources, recruit developers, and then with additional developers, speed up our development. And also by promoting the operating system a little bit more. I was asking then Beck if he thinks that we are already ready to take in a mass amount of developers, and maybe even if that wouldn't happen, I think it's a little bit problematic for us to say, okay, it's all about the money, because that's not true. Yeah? Some of these things, how to attract more developers, is we need to make it more accessible. We are on the documenting side, of course, but also we must really find those people who like our hackish style of doing things and experiment a little bit with the system. Because to be honest, this is not a fully featured product where you just take the SDK and the Hello World guide and then you are a developer for apps. Because we also need to contribute a little bit to the base. And that is more and more also true for the porting efforts and for all these things that don't work, where we sometimes also, we couldn't even document it because we don't know how it works. So even from the canonical documents, it's not clear how it works, because they also did not document everything. So I think the first point, it's not just that we need more money for more developers, while when we are a foundation, we will be able to pay a certain amount of money to certain people for doing things. And we're planning this actually. Yeah? And I think the base answer to this is, okay, we can go more into marketing. We can try to attract more people and make it more publicly visible. That's true. But I don't think that money is the key for speeding up everything here. It's just, you need people with more affection for the thing. They really want to do it. We need the highly motivated people that want to have this operating system for themselves. And then they can be leading more in or having more excellence in pushing more and more stuff into it. But the problem is also with a paid developer, it's always like he wants to have a job, or he accepts a job for a certain amount of time, and then maybe later on you lose him again because he has something else to do if it's a freelancer. And so to make a stable foundation, we need really people who have a complete how to say in English, a dedicated a part of their mind is dedicated to having this alternative OS flying up in the air. Yeah? And those people are hard to get, of course. But I think we are not so far from having some people coming, because we have already prepared. Joining form questionnaire was already there. It was offline again. It's still offline, right?
Yeah.
But, we have a lot of applications that we're looking through with some promising things. So I think it's just how to attract more developers, make more noise. And of course, it's also an invitation for everyone in the community to ask friends or remind people who you know, look, maybe this is something you want to contribute. So you are also part of the marketing, if you're in the community, of course. Because with everybody's a small, let's say, contribution to marketing efforts, we might get more people into the boat. Yeah. And now I'm looking,
You
and it's
mentioned-
1 minute after 9, and I stop now.
You mentioned just a single piece of additional news. You mentioned documentation. We now have moved the so we're now also hosting the app development documentation that is on apidocs.ubiports.com. So that's the documentation for the QML and HTML5 APIs for the Ubuntu UI toolkits. I know you guys have been waiting for this for a long time. Shout out to Dalton and Brian Douglas, who have been doing work on this. Yeah, it's hosted now.
Yep. Okay. So we are on overtime now, and sorry if we didn't get to catch all the questions. If you want, you can leave them for next time. Just ping one of us, and we can add it to our cards. So I hope to see you guys next time. I think we had a good run. So everyone, have a nice day, and see ya.
Thanks,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.